Hello and a very good afternoon to Dr. SOFIAH. Today we are from Good PROF going to present about life cycle assessment for a tissue paper production. Before we are going through to our presentation, my friend Bella going to introduce the group members.
Here's our group members. First, Muhammad Fauzan bin Ahmad Razali, SC8237. Second, AEINABILA binti YUSOF, SC8447. Third, Nur IZZATI SHASALBILA binti Muhammad NASIR, SC8223. My name is AEINABILA binti YUSOF. My metric number is S68447. Introductions. Environmental sustainability is responsible use and maintenance of the Earth's natural resources while preventing damage. It involves balancing human needs with ecological preservation and biodiversity protections. Green practice such as landscaping, energy and water conservation, recycling, and green construction aim to reduce pollution and non-renewable fuel use. The Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) are a set of 17 global goals developed by the United Nations to address global issues like resources depletion, biodiversity loss, and climate change. Life cycle assessment (LCA) is a process that assesses the environmental implication of a product or service from extraction to disposal. The report discusses the production of tissue papers focusing on virgin and recycled fiber-based products. Both types of tissue require significant water, bleach, and tree trunks, negatively impact the environment and disrupting natural ecosystem.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is IZZATI SHASALBILA binti Muhammad Nasir. Okay, I want to present about goal and scope life cycle assessment of the tissue paper. The main of this research is to determine the environmental impact for manufacturing of the tissue paper using virgin pulp or waste paper pulp. By comparing the two tissue manufacturing process with the true life cycle assessment method. Using a life cycle perspective, we want to identify the best manufacturing process tissue paper because this can reduce the pollution that occurs as a result of manufacture and use for this tissue paper. The scope of this life cycle assessment being include the following elements such as extraction of raw material, making, transportation, and users phase. For extraction of raw material, involve the tree being felled. For the making, we have to mix with chemical until become pulp. For the transportation, for transportation, the tissue is very ready, is sent to the shop and supermarket. Lastly, for the life cycle of assessment of tissue paper, I want to explain about how the tissue paper disposal phase. The tissue paper can dispose of any option including recycle or incineration.
For this part, I will explain about life cycle inventory. LCA is important to evaluate the environmental effect of a process or production. Basically, inventory analysis consists of collection and quantification of input and output for a product and process. As we can see here, input will enter the system and the process will be occurred and will be leaving the system as an output. In the production of a tissue paper, this phase has been analysis. I will explain this process more detail. The first one is raw material extraction. The life cycle begins with extraction from natural sources or waste paper sources. For natural sources, it begins with the tree planting process in the soil. Tree seeds will be fertilized, sunlight will be provided, clean water will be supplied for the growth process. So, natural sources can come from wood due to deforestation. The trunk will be cut down, crushed, and formed into sawdust. Sawdust that has been obtained will form into vegan pulp. And the four natural sources, sawdust is the output, and then for the input, it is involved with the trunk. For the waste paper sources, waste from recycled paper will be collected. After that, paper waste will be crushed using a paper shredder. The output for these sources is recycled pulp. The second one in life cycle inventory is production or manufacturing. Basically, energy consumption is the main priority in the manufacturing process. For the input, basically, electricity contribute the highest usage in tissue paper production. It is function as a drive for machines and equipment for the production of tissue paper. Not only that, heat energy is also required in the process of drying and heating of tissue paper. In the production, major raw materials such as virgin pulp or recycled waste trash, or even product aids such as resin, dyes, and water is used for the tissue paper production. For the input process, air emissions such as SO2 and O2 will be released to the environmental depending on the fuel and energy used in the tissue paper production. Not only that, wastewater discharge from the manufacturing solid waste, which is the result of the byproduct, is the output in the tissue paper production. The last one is the different grade of tissue has been obtained, such as toilet paper, kitchen towels, or even napkins. The third phase is transportation. Basically, transportation involves the logistical process related with moving the field package, which is the tissue paper. The tissue paper from the warehouse will be transported by lorry, ship, or airplane, depending on the location distance. Tissue paper from the warehouse will be transported and the fuel from vehicle is considered as the input, and then it will involve the process of transportation. The tissue will be sent to the center stores or end retailer. During the process, air emission from the fuel combustion such as carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxide is involved and considered as output, and the tissue paper that has been distributed is considered as output. The next one in life cycle inventory is the consumption by the consumer. Basically, tissue paper used to clean and ensure the cleanliness of the house and the use for common household purpose. Not only that, tissue paper also function to clean the body or our face, so that the input involved in the consumption is the purchased tissue paper by the consumer, and then the output process involved is the discarded tissue paper by the consumer. The last one in the life cycle inventory is the end of life for a product. Basically, the consumer must decide the best option for a product, either to recycle it or throw it away. However, waste from the tissue paper will be disposed to the landfill and cannot be recycled because the properties of the tissue itself is easy to expose to the water. As a result, the life cycle will repeat again. At the end, the tissue paper waste is an input and the user chooses whether to dispose or recycle is an output.
Next is Life Cycle Impact Assessment (LCIA). The study examines the environmental impact of various systems including climate change, tissue paper production, and waste management. It highlights the negative effect of climate change, ozone depletion, and human toxicity. Tissue paper production has a significant environmental impact throughout its life cycle, including extraction, manufacturing, transportation, and disposal. Recycled fiber reduce environmental impact, but transportation increase carbon emission. The industry is shifting toward sustainable options such as eco-friendly production, end-of-life disposal, and recycled fibers. First, human toxicity. Human toxicity potential refers to the exposure to hazardous compound in item or procedure that could endanger human health. Chemical use in tissues production, air pollution, and environmental contamination can cause cancer, skin irritation, and breathing issues. To mitigate human toxicity, steps include choosing clean raw materials, replacing hazardous chemicals with safer alternatives, and implementing efficient waste processing technology. Compliance with safety regulation like ISO 14001 can help fabric papers factories manage environmental impact. Second is eutrophication. Eutrophication is a process where water becomes more nutrient-rich, leading to algae growth and aquatic crop loss. It is primarily caused by chemical splash on pulp and tissue production, releasing phosphate and nitrogen into rivers and lakes. This leads to poor water quality, increased organic material, dark water, and low dissolved oxygen levels. To combat eutrophication, cleaner pesticide, efficient farming techniques, and water and pool filtration can be used to reduce waste and promote water environmental sustainability. Last but not least, water usage and pollutions. Fabric making and processes involve water usage in pulp formation, molding, and drying, leading to pollution from the pulp spraying process and the destruction and processing of residual paper. This can strain local water supplies and restrict water availability for communities and farmers. Inefficient technologies like water recycling system and steam dryer can combat water consumption and pollution. Chlorine-based bleaching processes should be replaced with non-chlorine alternative like ozone bleaching technology. Effective liquid waste management system and water conservation methods such as rainwater collection and filtering can be employed. Sustainable raw materials selections can also reduce environmental impacts. Interpretations. Life cycle assessment (LCA) is a process that evaluates the environmental impact of a process, product, or service at each stage of its life cycle. It involves interpreting the result to help make informed decisions. In the case of tissue made from virgin and recycled pulp, the assessment considers the impact of lodging and the environmental benefit of recycled paper. It also compares energy, water, and chemical usage, transportation impacts, end-of-life scenarios, and land use and biodiversity effects. The finding can lead to recommendation for enhancing recycle rate for or adopting sustainable practices. Effective communication strategies are crucial for conveying this finding to stakeholders.
The next one is improvement analysis. Basically, improvement analysis refers to the evaluating and identifying the opportunities for improving our environment through the life cycle of a product. There are some improvement analysis that I have been evaluated. The first one is changing the product or material. The product that I have choose is cotton fabric. The reason why I choose cotton fabric because it is durable and reusable material. Not only that, it is also renewable and can be reused multiple times. Cotton fabric also suitable for various applications such as cleaning, wiping, or personal care, just like the tissue paper itself. Compared to the tissue paper, tissue material tend to decompose when exposed to the water due to the properties of the tissue itself, which is easy to break down. So, the example of a product is microfibers. Microfibers is easy to dry and soft compared to the tissue because end up tissue will be thrown away to the landfill. The last one in improvement analysis is consumer awareness. One of the challenging components in order to promote environmental sustainability is consumer behavior. Conducting awareness among consumers is one of the ways to reduce tissue paper consumption. However, some consumers tend to waste the tissue paper consumption even though the tissue is still clean and can be reused. So, the transition from tissue paper to cotton fabric also involve change in consumer behavior. The example, how can we aware the consumer to reduce the tissue paper consumption is supermarket can provide awareness to consumer by holding promotion for cotton fabric sales, such as half price discount or buy three get free one to encourage them to reduce their paper tissue consumption.
Conclusion, tissue paper is not recyclable because tissue paper easily break down quickly when exposed to the water and is finally disposed of into landfill. Choosing the cotton fabric instead of the tissue paper is safer for the environment as both materials have the same ability to absorb impurities. Every product has their own impact toward the environment, either big or small. Life cycle assessment is important to help us, especially to the environmentalists, to make a wise judgment or decision in choosing the environmentally sound product.
Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Sophia for staying until the end of the video. I hope Doctor will give us the highest mark for this assignment. Thank you again.